This is what was left of that file after I made the boot knife. And this is just a piece of leaf spring I cut down, kind of one of the scraps. And kind of want to make a couple of drop point hunters, or hunters, let's say. We'll see if I go with drop point. Got a couple of people looking for some knives, and think I'm going to use this steel and make them for them. All right, join me. Okay, what you missed. I did a little bit of profiling, and then I took it back up to the forge, did a little more straightening, and a little bit of thinning out on the spine. I think I'm actually going to profile a little bit more, then I'm going to go ahead and start the bevel. Well, this is what happens when you try to take care of a warp in a vise and you bend it a little too much. Okay, what you saw was me working hard to make this knife and it breaking with a catastrophic failure. What you didn't see was I pressed on, but I decided I didn't really care to keep it on camera because I just wanted to get the project done, and I forged this blade, which honestly was shaping up to be a very decent blade. I was kind of digging that. So but between this blade and this blade, I had changed my quench tank setup, and I'll show you that right now. Very large water quench tank to be used very carefully with only particular types of steel. So that new quench tank being bigger kind of changed the way that I need to quench blades if I'm going to use water. And I know a lot of you are going to say, oh, you should never be using water. Well, I disagree with you. I've had some pretty good results with water in the past, but clearly the volume of water I have now takes some extra special care if you're going to use it. You just can't leave it hanging in those interrupted quenches for nearly as long as you could before in the pot of water. And I believe that's because the pot of water was getting heated through each interrupted quench, so it's bringing the overall temperature of the water up and making it less volatile for each follow-up quench for the interrupted quench. And that larger volume of water just wasn't warmed up because it was such a large volume of water. So anyway, yeah, I cracked this one a little bit right here, just a little bit. And I heard that one in the tank, but I kept on going, thinking that maybe I hadn't really heard what I thought I heard. And when I pulled it out of the tempering oven, it was plainly evident when it cooled down that there was a crack there. I tried grinding it out. It didn't grind out yet. I may still work on that blade later, but I was so frustrated with that, I started all over again. You would think I would have learned my lesson, but I didn't. I then forged this blade out of this similar, this is the older leaf spring, not the same leaf spring as that. And I did end up with an ever so fine beginning of a crack on this one, which I did not hear when it was in the quench tank during the interrupted quench. And I was able to quickly grind it out without removing too much material to end up with a nice profile. And so I went with this, and this knife has been tested. It's a very decent knife, very good looking knife. Very happy with this knife. Well, I apologize for the parts of this project that you didn't get to see. I almost didn't even bother to share this video of what I did get from the beginning of this Drop Point Hunter project. But I felt like it's just as important to share my failures as it is to present my successes. So I mean, it's all part of the process. It's how we learn, it's how we grow. And I will say it's getting difficult to put the kind of time into making videos and content for y'all that I would like to. Well, life gets pretty overwhelming sometimes, and I'm certainly not immune to that. And there's so many things going on in the world and in my personal little world right now that it's really hard for me to bring to you the things that if I had time I would like to share. I will be sharing projects coming up. I will make a point of showing my striking anvil in action, my preheated striking anvil with some Damascus projects that I've got coming up. I really could use your encouragement though. Although I feel like the Lord has blessed me, I think I'm going to need some more encouragement if I'm going to continue doing this YouTube thing. Yeah, definitely. If you can drop me a like, give me a subscribe, throw some comments in there, even if you don't like what I'm doing. You know, give me some constructive criticism. I'm always okay with constructive criticism. If you're just a troll, I'm probably going to delete what you have to say, and you'll be wasting your time. But hopefully you learned something through this one, and I guess I'll catch you for the next project.